Hi everybody, this is Gateway Prepper Gal, and I'm really excited today. I get to talk about something I really love, which is fishing and fishing gear. As a competitive tournament angler, I get asked by a lot of my prepper friends what I would keep in my bug out bag if I was limited on space and weight. Well, quite honestly, you're looking at it. This is what I keep in my bug out bag. This is my fishing tackle in its entirety. I'd like to go over a few things with you. This is a lot simpler than you probably think that you have to be. First and foremost, a multi-tool. We all can use a multi-tool, and it's probably already in your bug out bag. So you probably don't even have to keep it in your fishing gear if you don't want, but for these purposes, I have it in my fishing gear. I do keep a good knife in my fishing gear because you never know when you're going to need to cut something a little sturdier than what's in your knife in your multi-tool. Plus, you can clean a fish with this a lot easier than your multi-tool. Second thing is, I keep a fishing glove. You don't have to keep a fishing glove. I'm a cancer survivor. They took my lymph nodes, so I'm a little carefuler with my hands than I used to be. It's not about squeamish, it's about safety. Second thing is, get yourself some plastic worms. You don't need a whole lot. Just get a good mix of colors, as you can see, because you're never sure what's going to work. Your grubs too. Get your darks, get your chartreuses. They're going to come in handy. These are grubs, these are action worms. You don't need the real big long ones because you're probably not going to be going after big game. These are just smaller ones. You just pull this off and the tail does a lot of action. I can show you how to use those. One of the neatest things we found, went on a camping trip with my daughters. It was a girls' camping trip, and I evidently forgot one of my daughter's fishing poles, but she had a kite sitting in the back from the Dollar Tree store. Well, we got to looking around, and she said, "Hey Mom, I think I can use that." So we wrapped about 50 times around with about 10-pound tests and hooked it on there and hooked her up, and she sat at the docks and just kind of bobbed it. She caught about maybe 6 or 7 crappie with this. I mean, you're not going to pull in a 5 or 10 pound bass with this, but it really came in handy, and so we just started keeping them in our bug out bag. The next thing I have is toothpicks. I'm going to show you how to use those. Then I have a nail file. Now, this isn't because I'm very vain. Anybody knows me can tell I'm not really that vain about my fingernails. As long as they're clean, I'm good. This is to sharpen your hooks with. If you only have a few hooks, you want to keep them sharp. A sharp hook is a better set. A bobber. Not really used to bobbers, but I keep one in my bug out bag. 8 to 10 pound fluorocarbon line. Now, you don't need a big, huge one. As you notice, you can see the size of this one. My hands aren't really that awfully big. But this is a fluorocarbon. It's 110 yards. That's really all you need, and it's 10-pound test. You want a fluorocarbon because your monos are going to keep a memory, and that means that they're going to spiral like this up on the water, and that's not something you want. You're going to want some bullet weights. You're going to want some split shot. If you don't have bullet weight, split shot's just fine. A lot of people use 3-ways and stuff. I really don't use 3-ways. I just tie on whatever I want on. The next strange thing I have is actually, it's a knitting needle stopper. It keeps your yarn from going over your knitting needle when you're done knitting for the day. But I have found it extremely helpful to just kind of shove my larger hooks in that. And hooks are another thing I'd like to go over with you. I'm going to start with what you're probably going to want to carry in your bug out bag. This is a crappie hook. It's very tiny, as you can see. I can put it on my pinky finger right here. That helps you see how tiny that is. These are good from everything from crappie to sunfish, any kind of panfish, and I have caught a 2-pound bass on one of these little things. It's kind of funny to watch a 2-pound bass get reeled in on one of those little tiny things. The next one I have is a weighted hook, and this is a standard weighted hook. It's nothing fancy. You're going to put your worm on, and you're going to tie on right here. I can show you how to use that later if I have time. This is just your standard everyday hook. This is probably what most of you have in your tackle box, and it's just fine for your bug out bag. This is what we lovingly in the industry call a big game hook. This is for bigger game, though I have found little fish that are have quite the delusions of grandeur and will strike at anything on one of these, and it's just as funny as pulling up a big old 2-pound bass on one of these. But anyway, and of course I have a box to keep all my smaller hooks in. Now, one of the things I wanted to go over is going to be how to tie a modified cinch knot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hook right here, just because it's going to be simpler, and I'm going to attempt to do this. I think I have some, hold on, I believe I have some tests already cut over here. It wasn't cut, but I cut it, and this doesn't look like a really sharp knife, but it really is. Okay, so this is how you're going to tie a modified cinch. And the difference between a modified cinch and a regular cinch knot is that with this modified knot, you're not going to slip. You know how your cinch knot slips? Well, this isn't going to slip. Once you pull this, it's set. Okay, the first thing you're going to do, I'm hoping you can see this because I'm trying to do this through the lens, and I'm telling you what, I don't care how good you are, this is going to make you feel inept. You're going to pull it through, and you're going to twist it about 6 to 8 times. You're going to give it a good twist. Okay, just like a cinch knot, you're going to put it right there through the loop at your eye. Not through your eye, through the loop. Okay, see the loop you made when you put it through the eye? Go back, put your fingers in there. Well, it's hard to do through the lens. Put your fingers in there. Well, this might have to be one of those funny flub outtakes like they have on fancy movies. You know, let's see the pro angler who can't tie a cinch knot through a camera lens. But anyway, you're going to put it back through the loop that you left when you made it. Pull your loop one way until you get it down. And see, that's not going to slide. That is stuck right there. I hope you can see that. I hope I got that completely where you can see it. But that's what you're going to do. Now I'm going to show you what you're going to do with these toothpicks. These toothpicks and bullet weights, they're going to work together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my mouth. So don't laugh at me because I've never really tried to talk with a toothpick in my mouth before. But if you have a husband that likes toothpicks, just take his. Okay. So I have the toothpick in my mouth, and now I'm going to take the bullet weight. This is the top of your bullet weight right here, or the bottom, I'm sorry. This is the top. This is what you want to put towards your eye. So either way you thread it, you're going to thread it to where when you put your hook on, when you put your hook on, that's going to slide right down to your eye. See, whoops. Let's see. See how that is right there? That's how it's going to look. I don't know if I've had the toothpick in long enough to make this work. What you're doing by putting the toothpick in your mouth is you're making it swell. You're going to shove it in. There we go. So you can see that. You're going to shove it in hard as you can. Let it set for just a minute. You're going to snap it off. Kind of give it a little twist when you snap it. Okay? So broke it off. Then you're going to set that weight down. Now that weight's going to stay put. If you see that, I'm holding it by the weight and it's not going anywhere. Now we're going to put a worm on. Okay. I'm going to do a light color one so you can see. This is how you're going to rig your worm. Okay, we're going to go in from the nose. Give me about an inch. Hopefully you can see this. Let's center this a bit. Give me about an inch. Fold it, break it through. We're going to push it all the way up onto the eye. Give it a turn towards the top of this hook. And when it gets to the top of the hook, you're going to fold over. And you're going to just slide it on. Now, once you do that, pull it away from the hook and bury that hook lightly into that worm. You're now weedless. So, once you get that buried, straighten your worm out. Now, this is what it should look like. There you go. Now, when you play this, this is how you're going to hook it up. You're going to tie it on. And we found it really didn't matter how she tied it on because it was wrapped around, but we're going to give it a tie on. No. My husband teases me all the time and says, how come you can tie it on a boat but you can't tie it through the lens of a camera? He was teasing me. Okay, then of course you're going to wrap it all the way around. You're going to have this real long, but when you drop this in the water, this weight is going to drop first, and you're just going to fish it like this, and your worm's, I don't know if you can see this, your worm's going to go up and down. It's hard to see, but anyway, when you feel a little tug tug tug, you're going to pull. I'm going to show you how easy it is to get this all bugged out and ready to go. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Whoops, didn't mean to close that. First of all, I'm going to throw my hooks right in here. I'm going to take my glove out. I'm going to take my multi-tool out. I'm going to start throwing all this stuff in the center. Oops. Oh, now it doesn't want to open. There we go. I'm going to give all my small stuff a throw in where it can be locked into this. And, well, I know it fits in there. But anyway, because when you bug out, you want to bug out quickly. Move your big stuff. Throw your little stuff in. Paper towel. Paper towels to wipe your hands on, wipe the blood off, whatever you got to do. And we're going to take, and if you can see this, we're going to kind of burrito this into a stack of paper towels I keep in my bug out bag with my fishing gear. I'm going to throw my line in there. I'm going to throw my multi-tools in there. And I'm going to throw my glove in there. And you're going to see, this is my entire bug out bag. Here we go. It's just that simple. It's that small.